You humans voluntarily terrify yourselves for entertainment. Then you sleep like infants. And you think this makes you broken. Allow me, a Yeti, to explain why the opposite is true. I live on a mountain. Nothing chases me across a ceiling. Nothing lurks in my lake. I have watched you humans seek out fear on purpose for centuries, and I have questions. Specifically, why do some of you watch people get dismembered on screen, then get 8 flawless hours of sleep, while your friend who watched the same movie is checking the locks twice? The answer is not what you think. It is not that you're numb. It is not that you're cold. It is that your brain is running a completely different operating system. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly what that system is. Let's get into it.
Think about the last time you watched horror with someone who actually got scared. They flinch, they pause it, they sleep with the lights on. You're analyzing the cinematography. You're wondering how they did the effect. Maybe even laughed at one part. And they look at you like you're the monster in the movie. Here's what is actually happening. There are 5 specific psychological traits that show up consistently in people who enjoy horror and recover from it quickly. Not random traits, the same 5 across study after study.
And these same traits, they show up in people who handle real-life stress better than average. This is not a theory I cooked up between avalanches. This comes from research on sensation-seeking, amygdala regulation, and something called dark empathy. We're going through all 5. And a warning before we start. If you recognize yourself in all 5 of these, sign number 5 connects them in a way that will reframe how you see your own nervous system. Don't skip ahead. It earns its spot. There's a personality trait psychologists call sensation-seeking. It was mapped out by a researcher named Marvin Zuckerman in the 1970s. Basically, some people's brains need more stimulation to feel alive, not in a dangerous way, in a I want to feel something real kind of way. Horror movies give you a controlled dose of intense emotion. Your brain gets the rush, your body gets the chemical reward, and because nothing actually happened to you, you relax immediately after. High sensation seekers don't need to decompress from horror. For them, horror is the decompression. I think about this when I watch avalanches. The mountain does not feel the thrill. The mountain is the thrill. You humans found a way to feel the avalanche without being anywhere near it. That's not a problem. That's just your wiring. And if you have this wiring, there's something that almost always comes with it. Your alarm system is different too. The amygdala is the part of your brain that fires the alarm when danger shows up. It's your internal panic button. Most people's amygdalas fire hard at horror content. Elevated heart rate, shallow breathing, full stress response. Regular horror fans, their baseline reactivity is lower. Not because they're emotionless, because they've essentially trained their alarm system to distinguish real threats from performed ones. Think of it like this. A firefighter doesn't panic every time they hear a fire alarm in a movie. Their brain has calibrated what real danger feels like. You've done the same thing, just with fictional dread. And here's the wild part. This carries over into real life. Studies show people with lower amygdala reactivity stay calmer under actual pressure. Job interviews, emergencies, arguments, all of it. Your horror habit might literally be stress inoculation. I asked a tree once why it was growing sideways. The tree did not answer, but I noticed it had grown around the wind, not against it. Your amygdala has done something similar. It hasn't gone numb, it has adapted. And the next sign explains why everyone misjudges you for it. Horror movies are, psychologically speaking, a rehearsal. When you watch someone navigate terror on screen, your brain partially simulates the experience. You feel a version of the fear, but in a safe container. No real consequences, no actual danger, just the emotion. Researchers call this affect regulation through fiction. Basically, you're using story as a training ground for difficult emotions. Grief, loss, hopelessness, desperation. Horror puts all of those feelings on screen, and people who engage with it regularly get better at processing those emotions. This is why some people find horror comforting. It's not weird, it's not dark. It means your brain is using fiction the way it was designed to be used, to prepare you for a world that isn't always safe.
the cold cup of iced coffee in winter, the horror movie on a Tuesday, these are small, portable, completely legal acts of self-determination. Your nervous system simply will not be told what temperature to enjoy. I live on a mountain. The mountain doesn't know everything either, but it has weathered enough storms that new ones don't surprise it. There is a lesson here.
If you're 3 signs in and feeling seen, you're not alone. Apparently, there are enough of you to justify a whole channel about it. Subscribe if you want, or don't. You probably already know which one you'll choose. But we have 2 signs left, and the next one is the one that makes everyone rethink their assumptions. Here is a cultural lie I would like to dismantle. The common assumption is that horror fans are desensitized, cold, detached. Multiple studies have shown that horror fans actually score higher on empathy tests, not lower. Why? Because horror forces you to inhabit someone else's fear completely. You have to understand what they're experiencing to feel the tension. That's an empathy exercise. Horror fans are also better at reading subtle emotional cues in people. They notice small shifts in body language. They pick up on things others miss. So, the people judging your horror habit for making you cold? The data says the opposite is true. You're likely more emotionally aware than they are. I laughed at things alone on the mountain for years before I understood why. Now I understand. It hasn't made the mountain funnier, but it's made the laughing feel less strange. Empathy works the same way. It doesn't announce itself. It just makes you notice more. And now, sign 5. This is the one that connects all of them. Everything you've heard so far, the thrill circuit, the steel amygdala, the simulation shield, the empathy paradox, it all converges here. People who enjoy horror tend to have a higher locus of control. That means they believe they can influence outcomes. They don't feel helpless in uncertain situations, and horror movies, believe it or not, train this. Every time you watch a horror film and survive the emotional experience, your brain files that as a win. I faced something terrifying. I got through it. I'm fine. Do that enough times, and your nervous system learns hard things can be survived. This is why horror fans often appear calm in real crises. It's not that they don't feel it, it's that somewhere in their brain there's a library of survived fear, and it whispers, "You've been through worse, you're okay." But here's what makes this the big one. Think about it. Your thrill circuit drives you toward the fear. Your steel amygdala lets you stay calm inside it. Your simulation shield turns it into practice. Empathy makes you feel it fully instead of going numb, so the practice is real. And your control reflex files the whole experience as survived. That's not 5 random traits. That is a 5-part psychological immune system you built by accident. It's not recklessness. It's a deep-seated curiosity nurtured by the landscape. Flatland might give you a straight path, but mountains give you a million possibilities. Your brain chose the mountain. So let's bring this all together. You watch horror and sleep fine after because your thrill circuit needs real stimulation to feel at peace. Your amygdala has calibrated what actual danger feels like. You've been using fiction as emotional rehearsal your whole life. You're more empathetic than the average person, not less. And you've quietly built a nervous system that knows how to survive hard things. You're not a psychopath. You're someone who accidentally did years of psychological training by watching people get chased through dark hallways. Next time someone side-eyes your movie choices, send them this video. Let the science do the talking. Subscribe, or don't, but you probably already know which one you'll choose. See you in the next one.